right, we live?
Yep.
We're good. All right, hopefully you guys can hear us. Back at it again this Thursday. All right, so the plan for tonight is we're going to be doing some silver leafing on this tank here in a couple of different areas. I'll be filling up this strip right here that goes around the outside, the teardrop kind of a shape here. We're going to be doing that in the spun silver leaf. We'll also be doing this Spar and Shield logo in the spun silver leaf as well, probably placing it where, we normally do. And then I'm going to fill up a little bit of this area with some of this film reel that I just cut out with my Cricut cutter. And I'll kind of show you the other side and what we have going on the other side, and then maybe this will make more sense. All right, so a few things we'll be doing is, like I said, we'll be doing the silver leaf on the other side, just like that over there. We'll be filling up this strip right here with the same lace pattern, and I'll kind of show you how we do that. And the last but not least, we'll be airbrushing in this kind of a film reel just in the corner of this other side right here to kind of fill up a little bit of area. And then once again, we'll have that bar and shield that's also spun with the silver leaf. So if you guys have any questions as we go, just like always, I'll try to answer your questions. But I'll get to taping this thing off, get it cleaned up, and we'll get going. All right, first things first, I'll probably go ahead and just tape this off right here. I've already kind of designed everything out, as you can see, and pulled the tape. I've been working on this one for a couple of months now. So, yeah, I don't leave the tape on there for that long. I'll just retape it.
They just sent you a $20 super chat.
Yeah, right on. Who's that? Ollie? Right on, dude. Appreciate that. First super chat of the night. Appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
Someone asked, have you cleared over the work you currently have, or do the airbrush work and the leaf then clear everything at once?
I usually like to clear it in between. Like I'll do part of the graphics or do the first set of graphics, and then I'll move on to clear coating it, sanding it once it's dry, and then once again either do the leaf or another set of graphics. Most of my paint jobs, they'll go through clear coat at least 3 times in their journey, but it all kind of depends on the complexity of the design. Whether or not you're using candy colors, whether or not you're going to be leafing. If it's a more simple, like a flame job, you can definitely get away with, I would say, 2 sessions of clear coat if it's custom paint. That way you have that last 3 coats that's kind of a flow coat. You cut and buff that and you're good to go.
Then someone said, do you always use black for your base coat for the flake?
Most of the time I do, yes. You want to use a high contrast color. Black is pretty high contrast compared to the flake. If not, sometimes I'll use like a really dark purple candy, and that's a cool effect too. I like that as well. It's not so, it doesn't mud up your blends quite as much, but I feel like black is still pretty clean. I like it. So I usually do it. Yeah.
And someone asked, when you put graphics on, why don't you use the application tape for vinyl? It's transparent and less sticky than the masking tape.
Yeah, how come I don't? I don't know, because I've just never bought it. But yeah, that's probably a good idea. For transferring, yeah. For doing this, I would prefer masking tape. I think it's also known as frisket film, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm just going to kind of shield that from the overspray when we lay down this particular graphic right here. It seems like it lines up pretty good right there. So we'll go ahead and do that. So like he said, we could be using frisket film right here, which is a clear film and you're able to kind of see through it better. But really you can see through that. And it is less tacky though.
Someone asked, has he ever had the opportunity to paint on an Irish wristwatch tank?
Nope, I don't think I have. That sounds awesome. Okay, so I went ahead and laid the masking tape on this.
So someone said purple candy. So would you base silver and spray the candy before flake?
No, you'd use the candy. Because somebody asked me if you can use a different color rather than black, edging this out. Yeah, just using a purple candy right on the edging. It makes it more transparent. Like the black is going to cover up the flake. The purple is still a candy. It's transparent, and you're still going to see a light fade of flake right there. So the blends could be a little bit cleaner if you're wanting to go purple. If not, then, I mean, you're kind of limited though. So that's why I like to use black.
They said, here, let me put this on. Make sure you
Okay.
it right.
All right. No, you would still, I think I answered it correct. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you would always the candy over the top of the flake. Candy is transparent. All right, so that seems like that looks all right. Let's go ahead and
someone said, do you ever have issues with your paint peeling off when you take off tape like the tape you're doing now?
not very often. Usually you have some kind of a prep issue, or you're using the wrong the wrong kind of paint. A lot of people will use paint like from AutoZone or something, the Duplicolor, or they'll use spray paint. It's just not made for that. Just not. So I mean, if you're starting out with the good products, like using a primer, making sure it's all clean, and as long as you're using the correct products all the way through, you shouldn't have any problem with it peeling.
Someone said, we just used your silver leaf system on a lure, spun it, and it turned out great. Thanks for the good product research, Adam. Mucho appreciato, mucho chacho.
Yeah, right on.
Poquito.
That's awesome on a lure, huh? On a fishing lure.
Little.
Yeah. You can paint a lot of lures with one little pack of middle flake.
Yeah. Someone said, how do you come up with some of your designs, all off the top of your head or mostly customers' requests?
Lately it's been off the top of my head, but usually when I am painting for customers, a lot of times they obviously have their input, and then I'll kind of go off of that. But this particular tank, did I already spin this thing around? So they saw it.
Yeah, there's people on, so maybe do it again.
Yeah. We'll kind of, so since I have that, we'll kind of spin it one more time. Let you guys check out the other side. So I painted this about 10 years ago. This is airbrushed on there, the Marilyn Monroe. Believe it or not. I don't know if I can do that quality work anymore. Yeah. So that was painted about 10, 12 years ago. It was all painted flat black. You can actually see this design was airbrushed in right here. You can see a little bit of that, but we did the same design here, but we metal flaked it. Kind of updated the look. There we go. It's having a hard time focusing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can tap the screen. Yeah, it's trying to focus on her face. So we did save that part of it. We masked that off, and we ended up silver metal flaking the rest of the parts. And then we went ahead and just built it up from there. So once again, sticking with the same theme, is I'll have the same kind of a reel right here. We'll edge that out in black, and then we'll be laying out some silver leaf in the Harley Davidson right here, the exposed part of the Harley Davidson.
Somebody said, the guy said, yeah, a ton of lures. They did.
Yeah, right.
Someone said, had issues myself with gold leaf lifting after clear coat. Tried more sizing glue.
Yeah, try more sizing glue. Make sure you're not waiting too long. Make sure you're spraying it on even for sure. All right, I got this loaded up with black base coat. Another thing I'm testing out here is, better look at this thing. This is a portable compressor. You can kind of just stick it in your pocket. Hooks up to the airbrush. On and off switch. Cool thing about this one, I'm noticing, I've used this a couple times now. I'll keep using it, see how I like it. But it does have, comes with 2 battery packs. So you can just slip that battery back in there. Turn it on. So far, so good, though. I like this thing. So I'm going to stick this in my pocket. We got black base coat here. Yeah, looks good. Plenty of pressure out of there.
Someone said, hey, Adam, a side question. I've seen you do the water droplet effect. Is it best to be done over clear base coat or just as well over sanded clear coat for best bubble effect?
I like I like to actually lay out clear base coat before laying out the water, or dribbling the water on there. Reason being is because water droplets act different on top of smooth sanded clear coat than it does like on some intercoat clear that's a little rougher. So I like to do that. So I'll mix up a little bit of intercoat clear base coat, and then just with my airbrush kind of like spray it on kind of dry, so it makes a little bit of a texture. So when that drop hits it, it will kind of have a tendency to stay in one spot rather than like moving away. Hopefully that makes sense. So yes, that's one instant where it's nice to have a little bit of a texture to hold that water droplet in place.
Someone said, what a great idea with a portable compressor.
Yeah, so far so good. This thing's nice. Seems to have plenty of pressure, and it just shuts off. Like you can hear it cut on and off. It's on the same battery power since I've been testing this thing since a couple days ago.
Someone said, thanks for the in-depth explanation of the water drops. And where do you get the mini compressor?
I found a supplier that I bought it from, and so I might be buying a bunch of them. I might actually start selling them. We'll kind of see how it performs. But yeah, you can get some of them on Amazon. The problem is the last ones I've tested, the compressor hooks to the bottom. I never like that. And they didn't have the battery that popped in and out of it. You're pretty much, once it's out of batteries, you're done. You'd have to have another airbrush or another tank. The fact that this comes with 2 batteries and the airbrush is actually really good so far. Like I said, the ones I use it for a month straight or something, I'll better know how long this airbrush is actually going to last.
And someone said, I have a custom Chevy Blazer that I usually graffiti. Would the animal stencil pack be a good size to do mini truck graphics down the side of the truck?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And then another question came in. Is there a difference between clear coat, line clear coat, and base clear coat?
Yes. Clear base coat is clear base coat binder. It's basically what we're spraying here, but it's clear. Intercoat clear is also a name for it. Binder is another name. It's only a one component paint, so it's not two parts. It's going to spray on dry like this. You know, we've just been spraying that on, but it's all dry. Even right where we sprayed it, it's dry because we're using base coat. It's not a two part to where it takes a while to harden. Not like two part clear coat, which is a top coat clear coat. Some of the things we use clear base coat for is like we just talked about, laying it over and then putting water droplets on it to create a little bit of texture. We mix that with candy concentrates. So candy concentrate is like a concentrated candy, just like the name says, and then it mixed with the clear base coat, which makes it more diluted. And then you thin it out with a urethane reducer to make it sprayable, and it's good to go. Once again, candies are not chemically hardened, so there's not a two part to that either. You just have the clear base coat, the color, which is the candy, and then you need to thin it out to make it sprayable.
Someone says, can you change the pressure on that portable unit?
No, you could put an inline regulator. In fact, I'll have some of those. But I feel like it runs at a pretty optimal pressure. Like it runs a little bit on the lower side, so I feel like not turning it down. But it could be turned down. You just need to thin out your paint more, for sure. So okay, that looks pretty good. Let me kind of. Here we go. Dust it up over there. We'll go ahead and pull this stencil and see what it looks like. And maybe give it one more little bit of a slight shadow right here before we do that. The last chance while we have the stencil on. Okay. Right. So I like to use these plastic blades. Reason being is when you go to, instead of using a regular blade, less chance of actually scratching the paint. We'll go ahead and lower this down a little bit.
Someone said, can you put random mica powders and pearls in one place?
Yep. You can. That's exactly another reason what that's for too. Any kind of, it'll transfer any kind of a pearl or you can use any kind of a metal flake or anything like that. I suggest using, when doing the metal flake, using a clear coat rather than a clear base coat. Like I've talked about many times before, because it leaves less of a texture and it's easier to smooth out. All right, that looks good. Let me pull this.
What happens if you candy over some kind of pearl or something other than flake?
If you candy over pearl, it's still a good look. It's just not going to be as flaky or as sparkly as metal flake. Other colors, it would give it, so say like you sprayed it over top of a white base coat, it's going to give it just a really vibrant colored look. It's still a really good look. It's just going to be really vibrant, not too much depth like you would have when you have a pearl or a metallic underneath those candies. All right. Tape here. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tape off the center of this section right here, and we'll do the same kind of lace right there real quick. All right. Okay, so here's the lace I'm going to go ahead and use. Oh, and lay that over the top. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm jumping the gun here. Need to run some masking tape right here to shield that so we don't get any overspray.
Someone said, do you use special gas caps when painting?
No, I just usually like right here on the other side, you can see that I have just taped it off. So if that's probably a good idea. I've never really found any that have worked, but that's actually a good idea. Okay, that's better. Got a little ahead of myself there. All right, black base coat. Just gonna make sure that that's down flat. let me take a peek of that before I pull this all the way off. Make sure it matches good. Need a little more right there. All right, looks good. I'll go ahead and fade in the edges a little more. Just gonna hit the front of this real quick. As you can see, I just gonna patch it in right here at this smaller area. All right.
Someone asked if that's regular black or transparent.
It's just a regular black. Although we will have the transparent black coming. That's part of our candies. We'll have a candy black as well. All right, looks good. Okay, we are ready. I'm gonna go ahead and tape out. Let me get a little bit of height here. See what's going on. There we go. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tape out just like I did on this other side. Just outside of this 1/8 inch tape right here. There we go. You could tape on the other side as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of the stripe and go with a little bit thick line of a silver leafing line right there.
Someone said, I've seen either gold or silver leaf that shows grains and or rainbow like colors. Is that the leaf of paint?
Put that one on the screen. I'll take a look at that.
Maybe they're asking, is that the leaf or paint that they're asking that they've seen rainbow colors?
They may be talking about variegated leaf.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And that is something that we will have by next week as well, that we're adding to the leaf line, is some variegated. Let me see here. Oh yeah, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, variegated leaf. I'm guessing that's what he's talking about. We do have that coming out, which it's pretty cool looking. I wish I had a sample here.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's like it's variegated. I don't know how else to say it. If you have never seen it, it's pretty cool. It's kind of a psychedelic mushroom kind of look of a leaf.
Someone said, do you ever run into issues seeing the graphics on top of the shadowed edge since you shadow first? I've been spraying the graphics first, then add the shadow edge. So far, no issues.
That's how I usually do it too, is I add my shadows last.
And then someone said, when are the candies coming? LimeLine can.
Yeah, right on. Hopefully very soon. So we.
In the next by next month, probably, right?
Yeah.
A couple weeks, or.
Yeah, it'll probably be 4
We're
weeks.
almost done. Someone said, "Are you using your Iwata or the airbrush it came with?"
I'm using the airbrush it came with. It's actually it's not bad. I'm pretty surprised. I've tested a lot of airbrushes within the last 3 years or so, and they're all pretty crappy. They're a very fine instrument that I feel like very few companies have mastered and have really made a good airbrush that works really good. Besides Iwata, I've used Badger before, and that's been all right. It just seems like they wear out faster. I don't know. But I've always kind of stuck with Iwata. But yeah, I mean the one that came with the compressor is so far so good. It's actually really good.
And then someone said, "How did you get into this? What advice would you give to someone that might want to try and paint their own bike, but is a little afraid of messing up a brand new bike?"
Yeah, I mean that's if you're really serious, I would probably just buy another set of used tins on eBay. Even if it has a dent in it or something like that, you can practice repairing dents. Get it all primed. Maybe start with the tank, and you could always, if it doesn't work out, you could always just sand it down and start over again. That's probably how I would do it. Maybe some people would like just grab a piece of metal and practice, but once again, it has to be good, clean metal. If you're going to practice, practice on stuff that is nice and it's good and you're going to care about, because if you're not going to care about it, you might just it might just go to crap, and then you're like, oh, this didn't work out for me. It's probably because you didn't care enough about making it look good. So paint something that you want to turn out, rather than just a piece of scrap. Okay, got that down. I'm gonna go ahead and slap on the Harley Davidson bar and shield.
Someone asked if the clear comes in a gallon.
Not at the moment. It's just quartz.
Polish your needles.
I've never really done that. I haven't really had the need, I guess. Maybe I don't spray fine enough detail to really care. But I know doing really fine detail, you'd want to polish up those needles to make that paint really slick and just follow that needle, and you don't have any problems and stuff like that. But yeah, I've never really done it. Never really had to. Okay. Boom, we got that guy. And that's the plan, is we're going to stick that right there. So once again, I'll grab our tape.
Someone said, with the aluminum foil pattern you posted a video, you use brushed on glue. Will the LimeLine spray leafing glue hold the foil down?
Yes, it will. You're gonna have to spray it on really wet though. Unlike the foil and the leafing, you're gonna want to treat that a little bit different. So to be honest with you, I've never used the LiME line with that. I just used another water based. So I'm guessing it will work, but never have actually done it.
How long do you let the spray glue set?
It really depends on how thick you spray it on, but really you only need it to set for a minute or two if you're spraying it correctly. And we'll get ready to do that. A lot of it depends on the temperature, what kind of airbrush you're spraying. Just like clear coat, there's a lot of dry times that are just, it's hard to tell because there's a lot of variables. And same thing with the leafing glue. I'll show you the technique to where you can touch it to see if it's either tacky and it's ready, or if it strings up, then you'll want to wait a little bit longer. And we'll kind of go through that. All right, I'm going to use my razor blade. I'm just going to cut some of these sections that have a crease in them, and then I'm just going to smooth it out. There we go. I'm not too worried about that because I'm just looking at the edges here. But right here, here's a pretty fat crease we want to take care of. So I'll cut that. There we go. Okay, looks good. Let me go ahead and we will mask up around the logo here.
Someone asked, will the candy come ready to spray, and what about UV protection?
So all candies need some type of a clear coat, a 2K clear coat over the top, because they are prone to fading. It's so we do rely on top coats and stuff like that have UV protection. And then the answer to ready to spray, they're just going to be in concentrate form. If they are ready to spray, we may be able to do them in a spray can. But I feel like you get so much more value having the concentrate and able to mix it up as you need it. You're gonna spray. You're gonna spend a lot more for a ready to spray paint, because candies can go a long ways with just a little bit of clear base coat and some candy concentrate and some thinner. I mean, you could do a lot more than one paint job.
to get that fuel gauge out of the tank?
You underneath here, there's a clip, and if you had a pin puller, I'm guessing, I think that's what it's called. It's like a little pin puller where you can take the wires out of the little harness rather than cutting the wires. Some people will cut them, you have to resolder them back together, which I don't know. I just leave it. You know, to be honest with you, I didn't even flake this tank. This is a buddy's tank. He flaked it. He prepped it. I would prefer to have it out, but it can be in too. I mean, it's not going to really hurt anything. It's just kind of the pin he has to run around, work around it. But yeah, pin puller. I think you can look it up on Amazon. You probably find a little wire pin puller.
How do you get clean lines on the edges of gold leaf without coating over crisp edge after?
How do you get a clean line with the leaf? Is that the question?
Yeah.
You know, having the sprayable leaf. So we're going to be spraying or having the sprayable glue. I feel like you can apply it more even than with the oil-based traditional method. So I have a lot of lines with the sprayable sizing rather than like a brush on. The other, how you get crisp lines would be just to take your time, like we'll do on this one, and make sure that our edges are all pushed down before we pull the tape. And the other thing is double leafing it. If you really want it to look good and you don't want to have any problems at all, you would just double leaf it. You would glue it, leaf it, glue it right on top of that, and leaf it one more time. And turns out pretty much flawless every time. And that's what we're going to do on this. We will double leaf it. I did double leaf the other side. Sometimes you can get away without doing it, and it still looks just about dang perfect, you know. But you really got to take your time. All right.
Someone asked how the hoodies are coming, but
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do some shirts first before hoodies.
Miss that time of year.
Yeah, but then those are the works. We've looked at a couple things, so it's started.
All right, so I've already diluted this in the bottle 50-50 with water, just so you know. And we'll take that and fill up our airbrush.
What's the yellow tape you're using?
It's Vivac masking tape.
$313.
313?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 313. Right. Okay, we are all loaded up in the airbrush here. You can see that we got a nice stream of paint coming out. It's not coming out clumpy or textured or anything like that. So that's what we want to make sure. First coat always needs to go on super light, kind of like a tack coat. That way the next coats have something to grab a hold of without wanting, you know, kind of melt together or, you know, create a texture.
Did you ever go back and fix your mistakes with a thinner and a Q-tip to clean up your lines?
Yes, you can do that. Not really thinner. I usually just scrape it with a razor blade or X-Acto blade.
Someone says, I have a pretty good run in my clear. It's been 2 days and still soft. How long should I wait to try to remove it?
I'd maybe wait another day or so. It should start to harden up by now after 2 days. Depends on how cold it is. Okay, there's the first coat. Go ahead and put the first coat on this as well. Make sure all those edges are down nice and tight. Okay, second coat. You can see I'm about, 6 to 8 inches away. All right, give that just another second, and we will lay down probably one more coat. This last coat, we're going to make sure that we're really thorough and making sure that we're getting full coverage on our edges and all the way through.
Roman just sent you a $20 super chat.
Yeah, hell yeah, Roman. I think I've been talking to him on Instagram.
Yeah, he said thanks for hooking him up with the spinner pads.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, you guys need spinner pads, the replacement 3,000 pads. I can hook you guys up with those. All right. Okay, so now we're to a tacky stage right there. That's right where we want to be at. We don't want to be where we brings up. It was too wet at that point. We probably sprayed it too wet, but that's okay. We let it dry. And you could always lay another coat over the top. But what we're looking for is tacky, but doesn't string up to the touch. All right, so we have the, I want that on there. What the heck? So we got silver leafing here. It comes in sheets just like this. What we're gonna do? Didn't want to do that.
Have you thought about selling the Harley pink stencils?
I'm having a rough time right now.
I saw that.
No, I don't think I'm going to sell those. It's kind of a gray area. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. So what we're trying to do is lay these down as flat as possible without wrinkling, or see how nice and smooth this leaf is. We don't want to wrinkle it all up, before we lay it down.
Do you use two-stage clear coat over each stage of paint to seal them in, or would you use a top / base clear coat?
No, I use a 2K clear coat. Really a inner coat clear or clear base coat over the top not really protect, like it doesn't really protect it enough, or it doesn't really build up over the edges enough, and you really need to be able to sand it. And that's inner coat clear and clear base coat. It's just not really sandable. I don't know why people still do that. That baffles me, that people do graphics and then lay down inner coat clear and then sand it. That doesn't make sense to me, but I have also been told that as well many times, and it kind of seems like it's a normal thing, but I just think you just really need to seal it with a 2K. That way it's chemically hardened, and then then you can move up from there with the graphics. Maybe not that piece.
Someone wants to know if they can do a limelight sticker. They have a few kinds of ones, but not limelight.
Oh yeah, we do have those. Not sure how you go about getting one, but yeah, if you put in an order and you let me know, I'll make sure you get some. Just hit me up on Instagram. Take off the glove. It's not working out.
How short of a window do you have to lay the leaf before it becomes too dry?
I'm starting to stretch it right now. It all depends on how heavy you sprayed it and the conditions, but you have about 10 to 15 minutes. Anything after that, you're kind of risking that it's not going to stick.
So with that, you taped out and also shaded the area that you are now covering with the silver leaf. Could you have eliminated those steps and maybe just use 3/4 inch or 1 inch tape to define the area?
I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do in the moment of laying out those graphics, and the reason why I ended up going and covering up that stripe was because I did have a little bit of an error on the other side when it came to saving some of that artwork that was there previous of the Marilyn Monroe. So it caused me to have to do that, which is no big deal. I just had to match both sides. Okay. Oh man. Got leaf in my drink. Okay. Here we go. Got the burnishing tool. And like I've showed this before, I'm going to kind of just pat down on it, especially to where this away and tearing that leaf before it has a chance to connect to the other side.
Is there any way to pay extra for expedited shipping from LiME?
The fastest way really to get anything would be on Amazon. And if you're getting flake or leaf or anything that I'm using right now besides paint, you can usually get it next day. So that's going to be your fastest way, and that's not even going to cost you anymore. Through Shopify, though, you can shop on the Shopify website, which is the limelinepaintsupply.com, and you can choose expedited shipping there. Keep in mind that paint can only be expedited so fast.
Someone said, "Where's the roller?"
The roller? Yeah, it's coming.
No, did you use the roller?
No, not yet. Just kind of patting down the areas that are. That way, we're not rolling away or losing any leaf where we need it. Kind of like right there.
Someone said, "Will there ever be half-width books of leaf for sale, like the full length, but half the width? That would be different, and you would probably sell a lot of it."
We do have it in the roll, which is 1-inch rolls. So yeah, we do have that already. Okay. Somebody did say something about the roller. Where is that roller? Right here.
Huh?
Now we're going to use this to kind of get into our edges and also to make sure that we have a nice firm contact between the leaf and the glue. Make sure we get in that edge really good.
Josh just sent you a $20 super chat.
Hell yeah, right on, Josh. Appreciate that for sure.
Someone said, when you put the glue down, did the glue get on the edge of the yellow tape too, or do you have to be careful and not get any on the yellow?
Nope, you're going to get it on the yellow tape too. You're actually going to make sure that you're covering the area that's wider than where you're spraying. So yeah, in order for it to go on even, you're actually spraying on, a thicker area right there. You can see it's all sticking to the tape as well.
Someone said, I bought the roll of leaf, and now that I have it, it seems like it's going to be hard to use. Just being so delicate. Any tips or perhaps show use of it in the future?
Yeah, I'll do something on the rolled leaf here shortly. I really haven't done much of it. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing 1-inch strips, you just gonna have to kind of line it up, I like them both. I like them. I like them in the sheets myself. It's just what I'm used to, but the roll works fine as well. with anything, like even with the leaf, you saw me struggle with it a little bit. I mean, it's the way it is. It's thin and it's kind of hard to work with sometimes. But the more you do, the better you'll get at it. So just keep it up. All right, so I'm going to burnish this. Basically, just wiping it back and forth into the edges, trying to get those edges to stick down. Because when we pull that tape, we really want that line to be nice and crisp.
Have you ever done small logos in gold or silver leaf? I tried it on some bicycle parts, and it was decently difficult to get clean lines.
Yeah, it's all depends on how many edges and stuff and points there are in the logo. But I'm doing a logo right here, and it has some edges and some points and some thin areas. So we'll see how that turns out. But definitely leafing it twice, because with the lime line, you're able to lay down 2 layers of leaf, and you can have that base layer of leaf that could really save you once you go to spin it. You can see right here, I don't even have the cleanest line right there. Maybe we can get this up a little closer, but you can see how that's just not super clean. See a little bit of black right there. The nice thing about when we double leaf this, we're going to take care of those areas. So we don't need to be 100%. We just need to be really close. And then that next layer of leaf will take care of that. It'll also create a barrier to where when we happen to burn through when we spin with the spin tool, we'll have a little bit of a barrier there that it won't necessarily burn all the way through into the leaf and into the glue.
Someone said spraying flake and covering the flake should be done with toothpaste clear, at least enough to bury the flake. Then use clear base coat or candy and art, then cover that.
Yep, you got it. Cover that with 2K clear coat. Let that dry. If you need to do touch-ups, do the touch-ups after that. Clear it again. You can see I'm being pretty aggressive with this, making sure that we get that leaf into those edges. We don't plan on pinstriping anything here. This is just going to be straight up just leaf. What I'll do is that after this, we pull this off, and once it's cleared, I'm going to go in there and I'll be adding drop shadows to this as well. But like we talked about before, a lot of times things need to be clear coated, sanded down, and then I'll do it on the next layer because I really don't like to. It's just a way to save everything, you know. When you're not taping on top of everything, especially the leaf, you really don't want to tape on top of this. Even when it's cleared, I would, prefer not to tape on top of it. Definitely, if it hasn't been covered with anything, don't tape on it at all. Just gonna pull it off. You really can't do this too much, to be honest. You're not gonna, with this brush, is not gonna wear through it. You just really need those edges to stick down. Okay, let's go ahead and apply another coat. So we'll do the second coat of leafing on this.
Someone said if an edge doesn't come out sharp enough to sell, do you have pinstripe or do something else?
I don't pinstripe, so I rely on it to making sure that it's good. I just make sure I check all my edges before I pull the tape. And if something's wrong, I'll just relief it.
And then someone said, when spinning, are you applying pressure or essentially letting the weight of the tool do the job?
Slight pressure, I would say. When you're double leafing it, you can go a little harder because it's really not going to matter. You have a little bit of a give there because you're not going to burn through 2 layers, hopefully. Once again, just dusting the leaf on. Leaf sizing on.
Someone said, considering how thin it is, what you're doing looks super aggressive.
Yeah, and it does look aggressive, but it's really not.
Do you have to run a blade along the edge of the tape?
No. You can, if you want to tuck it in, you could tuck in your edges a little bit with a plastic blade, but not usually.
What was the brand of 2K clear in a can that you had?
2K in a can.
2K clear.
Yeah, 2K clear. I use LiME 2K clear. If you're looking for something in a spray can, then maybe try Car Rep or what's the other brand? Spray Max. They both have 2K clear in a spray can.
Other than spinning and creating circles, is there another way to create texture like lines instead of circles?
Yeah, I've talked with a couple of people about that recently. That we have actually tried to do like a basket weave, and it worked out. I haven't had really the time to practice any of that, but maybe I will. Hopefully, find the time to do that. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have this stuff, experiment. Just lay it out on something. I think what I did is I took a piece of paper and I just wiped it one way with a 5,000 grit pad, and then wiped it the other way. Pretty much just like drawing it out. Okay, that's looking good. I'll go ahead and put one more coat on top of this, and I think we're ready.
Shoo!
Bless you.
Thank you.
I think we're ready.
Try a wash rag to create different patterns in a leaf. It's just rough enough.
Well, yeah, it's turning out good so far. Nice and smooth.
What causes a bubble in the leafing?
Waiting too long, not having enough glue, not applying it evenly, where same thing as not having enough glue. But yes, that can happen. You got to make sure you stay within that window. Also, if you happen to tape on top of your, like say you were to mask up right on top of the leafing, it's not going to hold up to that either. Like I said, this stuff's pretty delicate.
Recommended or favorite buffing compound?
For sure it'd be CSI for sure. One step compound, 2 pads, just easy cleanup. There's a lot of reasons why I like it better than some of the other brands. Better price, just yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move.
Cheddar asked if you covered up the stick figures.
No, I'm not covering that up. I'll have to show everybody the stick figures on the other side.
Okay.
Don't let me forget. Did you remember seeing that?
No, he asked me, and I said, what? I wasn't sure what was happening.
He remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I got put on in Instagram jail for that for a little bit.
Did you hide something in this tank?
Yeah.
Hide something in?
Yeah, I did a reel on it too, and they somebody, somehow it got dinged for being inappropriate.
Huh.
So they actually didn't suspend my account, but they says if it happens again, they will. So I don't know. Maybe YouTube is okay with it.
I don't know.
What is it, huh? Not gonna show you till the end.
Yeah. I
think you remember?
Remember what it is, I think. Does Darren know you hid something in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
he does.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he liked it, but I said, you know what? I really don't care.
You get a hidden something in there.
It could have been worse. Looks like these edges are turning out really clean, I think. Doing this with the double leaf, it's really, really the way to go. And I'm just kind of looking over all the edges, following it with my eyeballs to make sure that all that leaf is down on the edges and it doesn't kind of like bridge over the top, you know, because when we go to pull that, it's going to rip it. And it's going to rip it anyways, but it'll rip it uneven. Okay, but that's good. That's good. We'll go ahead and same thing here. The smoother you can get this, the better that the spins are going to look.
Did we all just watch Adam rub one out?
Who said that?
The fat wax.
Oh, shit. No, that's the other website. That's the OF website. Looks like we gotta fill in a couple areas right here. Just take some of that spare leaf we have. All right, we're just about there.
Is that the brush you sell? It looks bigger somehow.
No, it's the same size. Yes, and it is. This is the brush we sell. All right, I think we're about ready.
Crazy thought. Would you actually spin a section just to let everyone know anyone can do it?
Yep, we're gonna do it. It's a great idea. I like that.
Huh. Now I feel pressure. I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, I'll do a couple and then you can follow it up. We'll give you this section right here.
Wait, I'm not gonna do a section. I'm gonna spin. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna spin at least like 6 inches.
Okay, 6 inches. Isn't that a common thing for you? Sure.
Okay, I think we're ready. We're gonna go ahead and pull. Double check.
Listen, I've had a whiskey smash.
What's a whiskey smash?
It's a whiskey, I know that.
You better to fall out of your chair.
No.
I'll get you lined up.
No.
I'll get you all lined up. All you gotta do is twist.
I'm just saying, if it's ruined, it's the drink.
You seeing double?
Just so I don't have to be put on the spot and feel the pressure. Listen, I tried to freaking, what did we try to do? I tried pinstriping. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's way hard.
Okay, we're almost there. We're going to pull this tape.
Someone said if she screws up, you have to give away a pack of leaf to a random viewer.
Okay.
If I screw up, I'll give you a pack of leaf for sure. We're not even gonna ask him.
Well, that hurts twice. I got to tell you what. How about if she does it right, we give away some leaf? Because I have a feeling you're gonna do it right the first time. Have you ever done it before?
No.
First time, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, I have tried your airbrush for a second. That's hard. The trigger finger thing is hard to do, and I have tried. Oh, I did the marbleize with the. I did do that.
Saran wrap?
Yeah, we did marbleize paint. I have done that. And I have tried pinstriping for a couple hours. We sat and tried to do that. That's all I've done, right?
Yep. What was the hardest? Pinstriping? For sure.
No, I don't know. The airbrush thing was hard. Airbrushing was,
Oh, really?
Yeah. My finger gets like, I don't know, it gets jammed up or something. It doesn't.
You got to get used to it, huh?
Yeah. It's like you got to do a finger workout for her. That's hard. It's hard. You make it look easy, but it's tricky.
So I created a little slit right there with my blade. That way I can pull this at an angle that would give me the advantage of not tearing and ripping the leaf into the design. So far, so good. This is looking really good. You see how I'm kind of pulling away? I'm pulling this way, not down. And then once again, I'm going to come down this way. Looks like I'm going to have to get that edge a little bit. And I'll end up shadowing this once it's all been cleared up and everything. There we go. Take that edge and then just kind of clean it up a little bit.
Someone said, sounds like that drink's close to being empty. Refill time. It's true. So I guess I'm not going to have time to spin. I'm going to have to go get a refill.
Nah, you're spinning. It's almost that time.
Brief explanation of shadowing this.
So I'm going to clear coat it first. That way, if I make any mistakes, I can erase them and fix them easy. So I'm just going to come up underneath here. I'm going to build up some shadowing up under there. Same thing here, and then up underneath here, I'm going to shadow. But once again, if I clear this and I do it after I clear it, I'm able to either sand or scratch away any errors because it's pretty. I mean, it's all freehand there, so it's pretty intense. You got to make sure that you're spot on when you spray. So I like to have it clear coated to protect the leaf. All right. We'll get the edges cleaned up a little bit. All right, that turned out good. Okay. Where's that spinner at? I'll get it started and then you can finish it up. Go ahead and just lay this over here.
If you were to candy a color over spun leaf, does it look like a patterny metallic stripe of the color? Stripe of the color? So spray candy over it?
To spray candy over what? The
leaf.
Yeah, it'll basically just tint it. That color, yep.
So you spray candy red, it'll turn it candy red.
Yep, it will. Yep.
Or light.
Or what?
Or it'll be like a lighter.
Yeah, it will. I mean, the one problem with red is like the light red is pink. So as long as you know that. A light blue is light blue. So yeah, you can see how smooth this is. We'll go ahead and spin it again. Boom. Okay, Ashley, you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
I just do a half overlap. Is that what
So
you
you can see this one right here. See, I kind of look right there. So you can just kind of lay it on top where you want it. Yep, just lay it, because we can always spin it twice. See, you kind of in the center. Yeah, it looks in the center. You just spin it. You pushing real hard. Oh, maybe we should. Oh yeah, see, no burn through or nothing. And try it again.
Yeah.
Keep it even pressure. Give it a quarter turn. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well just keep going. We'll get another angle at it here.
Sorry, Darren.
Yep.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, we could always just clean them up too, just by.
Oh, wait. Let me.
So what?
Put my hand on the.
Yeah, you were putting your hand on the other part.
Okay. Let me put my hand on this part and try it.
Yeah.
That's definitely better. That hurts your little fingers.
Mm-hmm.
More sensitive hands. Yeah, that's definitely better to hold it like that.
Yep. Get it in the right light here, we'll be able to see it a little better. But yeah, this is probably the best light right here. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, it's better to hold it down on the fat part than the skinny little. No, that's not too bad. Come on, you guys can do it. If I can do it.
Yeah. Look at that. You can't even tell. See, I did those. You did your 6 inches. And then
That's
I did
6
mine.
inches. Okay. That explains everything.
What are you talking about?
I did 2 little circles. Or 3.
You did 3 or 4.
Oh, come on.
You did 6 circles. That's 6 inches.
I did not do 6.
You can see how nice and crisp that turned out. I'm not going to spin that yet. I have a smaller spinner. I'll spin that once it gets ready to go into clear. But there it is. I think that's all we're going to do. You guys have any questions last minute? I can go ahead and answer
Let's see your
those for you. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Hidden little image.
Chicka bow bow. But yep, that's it. That's all.
Okay, so who are we gonna give leaf to? I think we should give leaf to.
Whoever the one that said that you should do it.
Yeah. And then let's see. My favorite one of my favorite numbers is 10. So I'm gonna go back to the 10th person that commented on here, and that's the other winner.
Okay.
Let's see who that is. I'm gonna go all the way to the top.
Whatever you want to do.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, baby, you just gotta count to 10.
This guy's a winner.
Johnny Carpenter wants some leafing supplies. So, Johnny, if you're still on, or if you know Johnny, tell him to hit me up on Instagram or here on YouTube, and we can figure out a good address to ship that to.
Really, it's this guy. So it looks like I have to give it to 2 of them.
Okay. That one's coming out of your paycheck.
Okay.
Same thing with Mike E. You'll get some leafing supplies too.
It's hard because people kept commenting, so it was sliding it back up, down.
Oh.
I mean, so I couldn't count.
So yeah. Thanks for participating.
Okay, now wait. There's some comments. Let me just make sure no one has questions. Thanks, guys, for having faith in me. I did it. See, if I can do it, you all can do it. Definitely. Will you sell a smaller spinner?
We will. Yes, we'll be selling 1/4 inch and 1.5 inch. So one bigger, one smaller.
Someone said we hid things using UV black light paint. That'd be funny. Alright. That was a fun one.
Okay, is that it? All right.
So I think there's even more comments. That's it.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining in again. We will see you. We'll be here next Thursday, right? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see you next Thursday with something else.
Bye, guys.
See ya.